set that we have, and you put like a little container of biosalts or vinegar, whatever you can get yourself like get your hands on, and then you have to inject the crown of thorn a few times, and you get these massive prongs to hold it down because they sort of reel around a little bit, and then so yeah, that will kill the crown of thorn, and then other animals will just come along and eat it. But you cannot get stung by them because, hence their name, crown of thorns. They have a really bad bacteria in their spines, so if you get spiked, I've seen it happen to a mate of mine before. It looked like his hand was on fire. It was really bad. He ended up in hospital for a couple of weeks, and his nervous system was affected for months. So if you work for those boats, if you get done a couple of times, you can't work for them anymore because the third time could be fatal. So it just builds up in your system. So they're really bad. So if you ever see one, do not touch it. And if you see a trail of white, do not touch under the coral. You just don't want to get touched by one of them. But yeah, so we are doing that now. So they are one of the major threats to the Great Barrier Reef right now is the crown of thorns. So there are some reefs out in Swains right out that way that have been completely taken over. So there's no more saving that reef now. They're there, and they've taken it as dead, the whole reef. So we have to now save the reefs around it. So that's what they're working on a lot out there. Yeah, so you might see some of those boats. But now, like in the Whitsundays where I'm from, we have so many projects that we're working on now, and all of our like major local companies that are high tourism standard operators, they have permits and funding to go and do reef health surveys, and then we also go out and cull the crown of thorns, or we are now building coral fragment frames that we're sending, and all different projects that we're making to rebuild coral after our cyclone that we had 6 years ago really decimated the north and south sides of the island. So now they're just doing all these experiments, and some of them are just going really well, but also just go back to the Whitsundays after 5 years of being there and seeing how the coral's actually just growing back so well is really beautiful. So yeah, it was a pretty sad story when I first saw it. When I went back to my favourite dive site, and I'm like, no, that's not it. And they're like, that's it. So yeah, gone. It was really sad. So now they're all growing back, and it's good to see. And it's like when we had those bleaching events in Cairns in 16 and 17. The coral like bleached, and 60% of it didn't come back. So now in those sites there is a lot of new growth and stuff like that happening. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's like it's sad at the time, but yeah, over time. Like Barry was doing it in the Great Barrier Reef, so I'll show you more about that as we go along. But yeah.